Greetings, this is General Dredd of Revolutionary Black Panthers. Purpose of this video today is I want to make a claim. That claim will be where heaven resides and where hell resides, if in fact there is such a thing or place, right? So in order to bring about clarity to this, I want to get into the topic of polarity. I mean, we have to examine a few groups of polarity, right? A few opposites. These opposites are order, disorder, respectively, heaven and hell, respectively, revolutionary and oppressor, respectively, right? So when we look at the timeline of history, right, which is more accurate than speculation, we see that there's no a theory, there's no concept of hell in the manner in which we today have been taught that it exists in such a state, a fire pit, a hell, where um, souls that have under gone a bad judgment are subject to eternal torment and hellfire and molestation, what have you, and heaven in the sense that there's streams of milk and honey and diamonds, and you know we get to reunite with our loved ones. Okay, so let's bring some sanity to this topic immediately. In my previous video, I explained the two great realms of being, which is the immaterial realm and the material realm. The material realm being this objective realm that we can perceive things in, things are tangible and touchable. The immaterial realm is the basis of where our consciousness originates, that which answers for I am, that which stands back and witnesses life events. But or in the immaterial realm, things are not tangible and touchable, right? So, heaven and hell, we will be totally inaccurate in our thinking if we want to go ahead and say that, you know, when the life that is housed in our body, when it passes from this body, from this earth plane, that we have to go on in a either some underground place where we can still see people, and people are subject to torment and so forth, or either we are in this high up magical place, that we can still see all these lovely things, and hear music, and taste milk and honey, and all these kind of claims, right? So the sanity to the topic would be that in the immaterial realm, right, there can be no such partakings, right? Can't take place. So if indeed heaven and hell does exist, we have to claim that it exists in the minds of certain types of individuals, right? We are on earth, right? And when we look at the earth situation, the order of the day is white supremacy, right? And white supremacy is perpetuated by white people, Caucasians, the so-called rich elites, right? And these people don't sit about and entertain heavenly, divine, moral thoughts in their daily life, the basis of their thinking, right? They don't do this. If in fact they used to think this way, then the current situation of the world would not be headed towards securing a new world order, which has no good outcome for uh, oppressed black people, right? So we have to go ahead and say that these white elites, these Caucasians, they construct mentally hell, and they go out of their way to project the prototype of this idea of hell on the planet. We see it already taking place: suffering, poverty, crime, prison systems. I could go on and give examples, but I want to keep the video short. So basically, the fire is that destructive element that these Caucasian writers in the past, they always use their intellectualism to mock us, seeing as that's the highest that they can attain to. They can never go higher and gain wisdom and access to spiritual power and so forth. So they use their intellectualism to mock us in encoded messages, as we see in mainstream religious books. Right? So the pitchfork, what do you use the pitchfork to do? To usurp, dig up the earth, right? The beast um, is a symbol of themselves, right? Or whoever fails to control their emotions, in a beast-like manner, right? So this is the basis of half of my claim where hell exists, if it does exist. It's solely in the mind of those who do the oppressing, right? These evil oppressors. So the opposite of order, right, is disorder. So we have to attribute hell being a place of disorder to the evil oppressors. So on the opposite now, we're looking at order and heaven, right? And who can we attribute heaven and order to? Solely the righteous revolutionary, right? Why the revolutionary, the righteous revolutionary? Because it is within the mind of the righteous revolutionary that solutions are drawn from answers that come about after we ask questions. What kind of questions? How do we go about moving forward and mending, all the pain and fixing the situation, or even, dismantling the system of oppression, white supremacy? These questions are not asked by individuals who just choose to delude themselves to think that, oh, I'm living a nice, good life. I do good deeds, um, what else? I read my religious books, and I don't get into any trouble, and you know these kind of things, right? Plain talk, bad manners. If you are not doing anything to rid the planet of the current disorder situation, right, which is system of white supremacy, then you are not a revolutionary, right? You are a passive individual who is turning a blind eye to tyranny. That's what you will be, right? So not a bash you. I just want to enlighten you a little bit to the choices that you are making, right? And the basis of your choices, it's tied into ignorance, right? So I just want to leave that there. I don't want to get too much further into that. You already know what I'm talking about. So the righteous revolutionary within these minds, right? Solutions to problems are intuited, right? Within this mind, righteous revolutionary, um, equality, you know, is pursued, right? Equity, right? Amongst collectively ourselves as a group, oppressed black people, right? So we perceive our heaven in a sense. We want to see what's right, and we want that harmony and that balance once more, and we are willing to do whatever it takes, even if it means opposing disorder, right? Even if it means that. So this is the basis of my claim where heaven and hell resides, if in fact it does reside, if it exists. Because when we look at the timeline of history, the idea of heaven and hell was never part of our ancient teachings and philosophy, right? When we look at the timeline of history, the Caucasoid, the Caucasian, white European, the, if we go back 6,000 years in the timeline of history, before that, there's no recorded evidence of white people, right? So we have to go ahead and say that the idea of heaven and hell, right, in this sense, order and disorder, with fire, and the opposite is, a nice time you reunite with your loved ones and so forth, only came about when the Caucasian brought his chaos and his anarchy, right? We were already seeking to align constellations with the pyramids and manifest our prototype of heaven here on earth, right? That's what we were about, right? And the Caucasian, what does he and she do? They go out of their way to manifest the prototype of hell here on earth, right? Like I said, they don't sit around and think righteous, good, harmonious thoughts. Their thoughts are basis of their thoughts are evil, right? Basis of the revolutionary, righteous revolutionary thoughts are equity and balance, right? Goodness and mercy, right? But mercy for our own, right? There comes a stage where we'll have no mercy for those who don't want harmony, equity, balance on the planet, right? So, one more thing I just want to add about white people. The Creator is not likely to make mistakes. So when we have the introduction of the Caucasian onto the planet in the world scheme of things, we have to go ahead and say that the Creator put them there intentionally. It's up to us to realize the purpose of this specimen. All know they cannot attain to the highest level of their spirit, which is divinity, right? And it would be a shame if we have access to attaining to this higher level of our spirit divinity and we refuse to by just being ignorant and getting caught up in worldly things and gain the world and lose our soul. So let's get back to the root of righteousness, righteous warriors, righteous revolutionaries. Okay, so the Creator doesn't make mistakes. So that's the fact that the Creator made this species, the Caucasian, with a brain defect, right? A calcified pineal gland, shows us that it's the introduction of a very high level of antagonism, which serves, right, to challenge us, the original inhabitants of the planet, right, to overcome this challenging situation. We have already been subject to physical slavery, now is mental slavery, and the highest purpose of the Caucasian is to serve as a catalyst for our change to reach that divinity that we are destined to reach. Okay, this is serious claims, and if you do your introspection, you'll see that there's sanity to it. It's much more sane to think along these lines and to think that you float up in heaven, you know, when the rapture comes, and all these nonsensical stories that they are perverted, right? Taken out of the original context from African um, history, perverted it and whitewashed it and so forth. It's much more sane to look at universal laws, polarity, like I just showed. The opposite of order is disorder. The opposite of oppressor is a revolutionary. The opposite of hell is heaven. Okay? So, moving forward, righteous revolutionaries know a role, right? And accept it with pride. The oppressors, they accept their role with pride. Okay? So, a solution, I just want to leave one solution to our problem. How do we go about to begin dismantling the system of white supremacy? You have to stop making these oppressors feel comfortable within their skin. You have to make them feel uncomfortable. You don't have to buy up a whole armory and start all out war of weapons, mass destruction. All we have to simply do is make them feel uncomfortable, and their natural reflex is to be greedy and hard and fearful, and they'll take their wealth, they'll go back to Europe, to the Caucasus Mountains or wherever they come to. If they can get along with them amongst themselves when they reach there, that is their problem, that is their fate, that is their destiny. Our destiny is a divine destiny to manifest and project the prototype of heaven here on earth. Okay? It's the basis of my claim. Hell resides in the mind of the evil oppressor. Heaven resides in the mind of the righteous revolutionary. Not the wandering hermit and the monk who just wants to meditate to achieve the highest samadhi. Meditation is all good, right? But at the same time, you have to be active, right? Can't just be passive on those sides. Okay, so this is Real Dredd of the Revolutionary Black Panther Party, and I'm saying Black Power.